Hello and welcome to another edition of Eye on Port, the program that brings Ghana's shipping and maritime industry closer to you. This program is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goil, PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link and the Meridian Port Services. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, today's topic for discussion is a very interesting one of much significance to a large section of this industry, which is the role of the customs house agents and the quest for self-declarance. This particular discussion follows the announcement by the finance minister during the budget reading for 2023, which said government will amend the customs law to allow importers to clear goods by themselves without recourse to the customs house agents. Today's discussion will center on why the freight forwarding fraternity is kicking against this particular policy. Take a listen.
My, small interaction with some of your colleagues in the industry gives me an indication that you feel a bit threatened in the sense that you think that government is going to take away your jobs if, this particular intention by government to go to the legislature to get the customs regulations amended, that's 2016 LI 2248, to allow people to self-declare. Is this really the way you feel? Do you feel threatened?
We don't feel threatened at all. We don't feel threatened. When it comes to efficiency, when it comes to having the capacity to do these jobs, we don't feel threatened. But then we think that the state will lose a lot.
Why do you say so?
Yes, I'm saying so because we have information, and the genesis of this regulation is all about the WTO and the Trade Facilitation Agreement. It looks as if we are importing wholly some procedures and environments from another environment to our setting. Now, the system we have here is that as a freight forwarder, there are a lot of conditions you need to satisfy before you clear goods at the ports. And that is the basis for our existence anyway. We have this Customs Act 2015, which clearly states before you become a freight forwarder, you need to have registered a company, a limited liability company for that matter. At least one of you should be able to have a certificate. And before you get the certificate, you might have gone through a training session. Yeah. There are some other conditions attached to this. And a team, even from customs, would come to your office and inspect whether you have the facilities and you have the capacity to execute that job.
Right.
Apart from that, they will even ask you to go and bond yourself with an insurance company before you be accepted to transact business with customs. Even on the declaration, it's you sign as an importer or an agent.
Right.
So it means that you act on behalf of the importer. So in this case, the government's proposal is that they are taking the agent out and deal directly with the importer. We believe that, and we sincerely believe that, the state or the nation will lose a lot. One, let's ask ourselves if the individuals that we are thinking about have the capacity even to execute this job. This system isn't something you can take a day or two even to go through. No. And I wonder how we will educate the general public, get up from Sunyani or Tamale, or even in his own house, or come to Accra and put in this declaration, hoping that you should be able to go through and clear the goods at the port.
Right.
We believe that we need to take our time. We believe that asking individuals to come and clear their own goods would be disastrous for the nation. To be very, very, very disastrous for the nation. For example, if Kwame from Sunyani comes in, or even from Kumasi, from Accra, will we be able to identify him after the transaction has ended? What is his address? Our address system in Ghana is nothing to write home about. I can even tell even somebody in Tema who even clears goods at the port with an address system may never be identified again.
Right.
What about the customs officers? What about the freight forwarders? We have our offices properly situated. We have our offices properly inspected. We have a company. We have board of directors. We have management that we are known to customs, recognized by customs, and recognized by the state. In case something goes wrong, you can easily fall on any of them. Absolutely. The directors, the management, the assets, and all that. So we believe that the government needs to take its time very, 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 very well. Else, we are importing an environment, a foreign environment into our system, but we do have the conditions that exist in those countries.
Right. So why are we worried about this? In fact, if you go into the trade facilitation agreement, which my brother talked about, in Article 10.6, this is what it says, and that is the reason why we're coming up with this. Okay. So in 10.6, it says that it talks about the use of the customs broker. It says, without prejudice to the important policy concerns of some members, that's members of the WTO, that currently maintain a special role for customs brokers, which is us.
Yes.
From the entry into force of this agreement, members shall not introduce the mandatory use of customs brokers. So the agreement is saying that, look, once this goes into force, although some countries have, clearing agents, and they have made special, arrangements for them, it shouldn't be mandatory for anybody to say that, look, any country to say that, look, mandatorily go through a customs broker before you clear. So, no big deal. That has found expression in our laws, in the Act 891 of Customs.
Right.
Okay? Okay. But here comes
That's 2015.
Exactly.
Yes.
So in the Act 891, so that has found expression. How did they find expression? We have self-declarance. So there are companies now who actually do clearing without coming through the freight forwarder. Because all you need to do, like my brother said, you need to go through the processes as in the law.
Right.
If you look at the LI 2248 that you talked about, sections 40, regulations 19 to 33 will tell you all about how you have to license, how you have to. But then what do we do? So companies who want to do their own clearing from the port can actually apply to the customs commissioner and say, we want to do a clearing. They need to make sure that that company at least has an employee, one employee who has a customs certification. The reason is that you need to make sure that these people can actually do customs business. And so what do we do to get into this position? It means that for us, you have to be trained, you have to be certified, you have to be licensed, you have to be bonded. You have to go through all the police checks to make sure that you are fit to do what? Customs business. How are we going to do this now if you want individuals to just go in? Are you going to make it easier for them so that they would avoid all these things so that they can do their clearing? So be it. Look, even the legal, if you go to the court, you could always walk in and say, look, you want to defend yourself. But the judges sitting there know that, look, hey, they would even try to push to find what? To get you a lawyer to it because they know you do not know the basics. And trust me, mother, what we do there is not a joke. Okay? The systems that have been put in place and all that you have to, the kind of training that we go through to qualify to do that is not easy. I sent you two charts, which I wish you could show, so you could see the situation in which that is right now. As it stands, this is the situation that we have right now. And I should give props to my brother Kwabna Fuswapia. This was part of his presentation, so I just want to show it. I borrowed it.
Right.
So all those you see on the left, right, are people that the freight forwarder in clearing one particular consignment has to deal with.
This one has a headline, Our Prospects Before.
Our Prospects Before.
So
I just want to show you before and after.
Customs to Customs Corporation, that's one. Two is shipping line, that's the agent.
Dealing with shipping lines, terminal handlers, warehouse owners, customs officers, multinationals, airline operators. You have the WTO rules in there. You have
authorized economic operators.
Exactly. Now,
improved ICT tools, that's blockchain deployment as well
Exactly.
as
Now-
e-commerce platforms.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, this is just but a minimal part of who we are dealing with. You have all the state agencies. Now, in clearing even one container of frozen chicken,
Yes.
you would have to go through nothing less than 7 or 8 state agencies.
Right.
Atomic Energy, EPA, FDA, Ministry of Agri, Veterinary Services, all of that. Now, why do we want to rework this whole situation? Now, if you show the next chart,
Yes. Can you show the next chart, please?
and then you will see how confusing this whole system will become. Now, the trader here now would have to individually deal with all of these people.
Right.
Now, why am I saying it's a very confused state? Now, you can take it off, that's fine. You see, in the Western world, the guys who actually wrote these laws and brought it to us that we certify, so be it. It's all good. They want to facilitate trade. What is their main aim? That they want to push their goods, their products that they have produced, they want to push through, and they don't want any impediments.
Yes.
But that is fine. Even in the Western world, they have found the greater use for the forwarder or the customs broker.
Yes.
And why do I say so? The world is changing. With all the automation and all the things that we thought automation would come and, would block, they have realized that they have to rather concentrate on their core competencies. And so they don't want to worry about the logistics of it and the chain. How do they get their goods from the port? How do they get their goods from a supplier to them? All of that right now is being taken care of by the forwarder or the customs broker.
Yeah.
And so now they have third-party logistics, they have fourth-party, even up to fifth-party logistics who take care of the whole supply chain. They don't want to worry about that because it is quite disruptive. Can you imagine that individual who has to go around, and believe me, because he cannot do this himself, then he's going to resort to somebody.
Yeah.
Now we are going to create a whole Guru boy
Absolutely,
situation there.
Something that you fought so hard over
the years to eliminate.
Yes, absolutely.
Because trust me, they will fall back on them. And then now these guys are the ones who are going to go do this and then says, oh, he's going to show you how to do this. Again, my brother talked about these individuals. Look, if you go, the post-clearance audit unit has rigged in millions. And how did they do that? Because they are able to come through us.
Exactly.
So if an individual has rigged the system, they come to, because we have done the declaration for them. So even with us, you have double assurance of revenue not leaking, because even at the end of the day, when they are finished clearing and gone, they can come through us, and then we find these individuals.
Yes.
What are you going to do now if Kwesi Menu, because he's a Ghanaian, has a Ghana card, he lives in St. Louis, Missouri, he comes in, clears one box, and he's gone back. Now you are going to spread yourself thin, trying to look for him if you think there's been some more malfeasance looking for him.
Now, I just want to find out from you, Mr. Yauche. The last time we had a customs officer in this studio, and he seemed to suggest that this was a very, very good policy because government was going to rake in a lot of revenue. But from your stance, it looks as if you don't see any advantage and no positive at all as far as this particular policy is concerned. But maybe, if you look at the other side, there probably would be some, good things about it.
What are the advantages? How is the government going to rake in a lot of revenue? I'm totally at a loss.
Right.
How can the government rake in a lot of revenue when the job is done by trained professionals, licensed, bonded, as opposed to an individual who has virtually no knowledge about the system and comes in to clear consignment 1, 2, 3 for the whole year? Where are we talking about when it comes to security? One of customs' main issues has been that at times they tell us now, because some of our members are not well trained, are not compliant, that is why at times we have some shortfalls in duties. And in this case, we ask ourselves, those individuals coming in, are they well trained? Do they have good knowledge about the system? Would not also that impede trade facilitation? A lot of errors could be envisaged. Maybe we haven't gotten there yet, but then I'm still at a loss how this thing can be rolled off.
You go through a lot of training to get certification, to get, all this, whatever, from customs, the proficiency certificates and all those things. Yeah, and so I just want to find out from you whether you feel shortchanged by this particular intended decision of government?
Of course, you're going to feel shortchanged if, and I say this, with a bit of, you're going to feel shortchanged if by affecting the law, anybody will say that, oh, as for the individual, when he is coming to do his clearing, then let him avoid this. Let him avoid the certificate. Let him avoid training. Let him avoid licensing. Let him avoid being bonded. That will be a very, very dangerous road to tread. Because like my brother said, trust me, the trained professional, the freight forwarder, will do 95% of a job better than an untrained individual who walks in. But if you say that individual should do it, then please do not lessen any of these prerequisites that makes the person be able to do the clearing.
Yeah.
So make sure you train him. Make sure you certify him. Make sure you license him. Make sure you bond him.
Right.
So that tomorrow, if he does something and walks away, you can actually get, and then your revenue will not go into, into the gutters.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that for the general public?
All right, those were some lucid submissions from the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana and the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders on the role of clearing agents or customs house agents and the quest for self-declarance. Now let us take a few comments on the subject we have just discussed after we go on break, and we'll be back with more news. My name is Claude. I saw the video of Fedua saying they have petitioned Parliament and a D added to that. I'd like to know, what did Parliament say?
So as of now, we haven't received any. What we sent to them basically was more of seeking information as to what they really wanted to do with this. Because, in fact, if you look at the budget statement, it was just like a 2 or 3 line item.
They set it inside there.
Just put in there. But then we realized the enormity of what that would do.
Yes.
And that is why we sought to, write to
Get
them
some clarity.
and get some clarity as to what they exactly wanted to do with it. And whether it's affecting the LI 2248, what they want to do with it.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, after that, we have also written, we have gotten a lawyer to do a legal opinion on it, and we've sent it to them, to the Commissioner General, the Commissioner, and we have also copied, these committees in Parliament. So we're just waiting for them to come back to us to say, okay, this is what, or let's sit down and look at it again, or this is how the law is going to look like, so that we can speak to it.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Tell God, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse. And my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Welcome back from the break. Now it is time for our local news segment. Ghana's leading oil marketing company, Goil PLC, has just outdoored the refurbished fuel station at Atico Junction around the Kaneshio-Doko stretch. The refurbished fuel station is one of Goil's 438 stations countrywide and consists of fuel dispensers, a lube bay, and a complex that will house a restaurant and a convenience store. The reopening ceremony was also an opportunity for Goil's team to interact with motorists and stakeholders of the fuel station. The managing director and group chief executive of Goil, Kwame Osei-Prempeh, explained that not only does Goil provide quality products, but buying from Goil is in the interest of Ghanaians.
Ghana government has 78% in Goil, and the remaining shares is owned by 15,000 individual Ghanaians. We sell the best at the basic price. So if you move your car, you want petrol, and you bypass Goil and go to any other station, it means that one, you don't love your car, two, you are not economical.
This message was further echoed by the South Zonal Manager of Goil, Helen Tremanting.
As we always say, if you want quality products, please drive to Goil. Yen product papa. Goil there, yedia. Etimunina mon drive you through here and get the quality service.
The Blue Economy and Governance Consult is urging the media to develop closer ties with the fishing industry, which will result in the production of accurate reporting for the sector's overall benefit. The CEO of the Blue Economy and Governance Consult, Rista Ni Ama Amafio, was speaking during the advocacy group's maiden media engagement in Tema. He said that in order for stories to accurately reflect events occurring on the ground, he expects media professionals and journalists to double-check facts with industry before publications are made.
So we are very much aware of what is happening. We are very much aware of the challenges the industry faces. We are very much aware of the fact that our fisheries resources are declining. But as an industry, we believe that we need to do more collaboration with the media. The media seem too removed from the industry. The media seem to be only reporting on what they see. Probably one of the things we need to do is to try and see if at such meetings like International Commission on the Conservation of Atlantic Tuna, media houses that can go are made to join us so that they would understand how some of the processes work. Because if you attend, you realize that Ghana is doing so well in terms of our fisheries management. The challenge we face is to have a committed media houses that are reporting on the positives that are happening in the industry.
Rista Niyama Amafio, who is also the secretary for the National Fisheries Association of Ghana and the Ghana Tuna Association, also lamented other issues bedeviling the industry which need increased attention.
For instance, in the tuna sector, the law requires that you have 50% foreign participation. So you find Koreans or you find Chinese who are partnering Ghanaians in the tuna sector. But the company that is incorporated must be a joint venture Ghanaian company. So you have a foreigner with a company that partners a Ghanaian with a company, and then you have a joint venture Ghanaian company that is going into fishing. We have a number of joint ventures in many other sectors. In some of our natural resource sectors, you even have a full foreigners who are exploring our resources. But when it comes to the fishery sector, we've had a number of challenges. Yes, because with the advent of the trawl sector and a lot of people seeing Chinese, the perception is that the Chinese have taken over our industry. And so anytime anybody sees a foreigner, it becomes a problem. There have been Greek, there have been Spaniards, there have been Norwegians, there have been Japanese, there are still Koreans who have all been part of our fishing industry. There have even been Russians. Because at a point, we failed to build capacity. And we are still not building capacity. We've raised this issue several times with Regional Maritime University. That it's so expensive for my company, for instance, to import a Korean captain and pay him in hard currencies at high rates. We would wish we have Ghanaian crew who will be doing those things. Unfortunately, we don't have. Today, we don't have a single Ghanaian fishing captain that any company can employ.
Let us now turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news. India is ramping up efforts aimed at modernizing its fleet and is reviewing the requirements of the registration and operation of ships to ensure the quality of the Indian flag. As a result, the country's Directorate General of Shipping said the country is withdrawing trading licenses to all tankers that are 25 years old or above. Under the new order on age norms and vessel parameters, the Directorate has also banned the acquisition of oil tankers that are 20 years old or older. The same rule is applicable to bulk carriers and offshore fleets, except DP2 vessels. A ban on the acquisition of vessels of 20 years or older is also going to be applicable for specialized vessels, container vessels, cement carriers, gas and chemical tankers, harbor tugs, and dredgers. The Directorate said that the age norms will assist in ensuring the gradual phasing out of fossil fuel ships and ushering of alternate low-carbon energy efficient ships. At least 62 people, including 12 children, have died after a boat carrying refugees sank off the Italian coastal city of Crotone in the southern region of Calabria. The vessel had set sail from Turkey several days ago with refugees from Afghanistan, Iran, and several other countries and crashed on Sunday in stormy weather near Staccato di Cutro, a seaside resort on the eastern coast of Calabria. 81 people survived, with 20 hospitalized, including one person in intensive care. It's now time for our Word of the Day segment, where we introduce words, phrases, jargons, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today's phrase is oil tanker. An oil tanker is a cargo ship designed for the bulk transport of oil. Now let us take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, and those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This brings us to the close of today's edition of Iron Port. Remember, you can watch all Iron Port content on our YouTube channel, Iron Port. Subscribe, like, and give us feedback. Thank you for watching.